Where the hell are we, Bobby?
So this week, see, the thing is, I just pick Kit up every Wednesday, and he goes where I take him. This week, we're up on Bradford Road in Wiscasset, and this gentleman to my left is Marduni Sharigan, correct?
Also known as
Mud.
Mud.
All right? So Kit said to me, he says,
who or two?
Two D's.
Two D's. Oh,
Mud.
yeah, like Major Mud. So anyway, don't, you know, Kit says, so where are we going? And I said, we're going over to Bradford Road in Wiscasset because this guy named Mud makes knives, right?
Right.
So he says, Mud? I says, yeah, Mud. And so anyway, this is the first time I'm actually learning his name. And it was, his last name is Harrigan with an S.
Right.
Sharigan.
Right.
But originally it was Sarigian.
Right.
Because Mud grew up with an Armenian parents, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Madulian?
A lot of the names were changed at the immigration.
Right.
He's only found one other guy with his first name in the whole country.
Out in California, correct? Yeah.
It's named after an Armenian pilot in World War I who was
Right.
an ace flying for Russia.
Right.
This is something you need to remember.
So the whole show this week is the history of Mud. So anyway, but Mud makes these gorgeous knives, which we're going to see over in his shop. But you know, tell us the first knife you ever, you like a little kid liking knives,
That's
right?
it, yeah.
So tell us about the first knife. You remember the first knife?
It was something I picked up off the ground. It was someone dropped it, and it was half there, and one of the sides of they call them scales. The handle was broken off, so I made a new handle for it, and that was my beginning. I was hooked on knives.
Now remember what the handle was made out of?
It was just a piece of pine and
Right.
spruce. I don't know, nothing fancy.
Yeah.
Whatever I could find,
So
10-year-old kid with it.
So Mud has progressed a little bit in his knife making skills.
Also in the woods he chooses.
So anyway, this is a piece of he's got a whole collection of, this is all it takes to build a handle for a knife, right?
That's all it takes.
Right. So anyway, it's beautiful because he can collect all different kinds.
Yep.
And so this is black walnut, you're saying? Right?
Yeah.
And this is some white oak that came out of the
Hesper.
Hesper, which is one of the schooners. And I
Yeah.
said, how the hell did you get that? And he says, well,
Here's another piece.
and
right here.
they brought they brought these schooners when they took them out of the mud, and they brought them to the dump, right? And he went over and collected them. Now Mud was saying that this is white oak. He's put glue on the ends of it, right, to keep it from drying out, drying too quick. And this patina that's on here now was from the mud at the Sheepscot River.
1D.
Right.
Yeah, they had those boats moored over there for what, about 35 years while they tried to decide what they were going to do with them.
Right.
Breaking the old Wiscasset bypass record.
Yeah.
Or
So
indeterminate questions.
I wonder how many people went by those boats and says, when are they going to get rid of those rotten boats? You know? But finally they
kept
did.
Crumbling, yeah. And
So what do you got there, Kit? What are we going to talk about?
We got this one. That's a piece of, I don't know, is that Luther Little?
That's part of the Luther Little.
Probably Luther Little, yeah.
I wouldn't gamble on it, but it could be either one.
And that other piece of wood, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's really a beauty.
And this other piece of wood is, what's that, Mud?
That's rosewood. Yeah, rosewood.
Very.
Probably named after the color because it's got a very rosy hue to it.
Oh, wait a minute. No. That's Purple Heart.
That's Purple Heart.
That's Purple.
And that was
I thought that was a metal.
No, Purple Heart's used because it doesn't like insects. Insects don't like it. Right?
Good for boat building. That's what they use a lot of now when they do these reproduction boats. That's what they use, Purple Hat.
Where does it grow?
It probably comes from Africa.
Oh, okay.
Or it could be South America too. Probably more South America. Some of them there's it's hard to find out exactly where they. Some of them are so rare that I never know exactly what country they.
So off camera, you told us a story. I'd like to repeat for the audience. The first time you ever sold a knife, you tell us about. You walked down in Bath in the town dock.
In the Harvey Gamage,
and
right?
I wanted to know, being an ex-merchant seaman, I wanted to know what kind of knives they used on the schooner. And what was out there wasn't just makeshift knives. They were mostly folding knives. And a folding knife is okay, but a straight knife is really what you need for a lot of the chores on on a schooner.
So you approached, you took the knives that the sailors were using, and you looked at them, and you said, "These aren't really working." And so
I think I could improve on that.
Yeah.
And I said, "Do tell me what you want exactly, and give me some ideas, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks and show you what I can do."
and we're going to see some of these knives a little later. So you got, and the
And you marketed them fairly cheaply too, because these deckhands can't afford anything, of course.
That's right. The students, most of them were students in college or high school, just get out.
so back then you were looking at about a $40 knife, something like that.
Right, with a
And then you told us an interesting story that there was a bunch of, somebody was getting married from the Merchant Marines, and he gave them probably to his ushers, correct?
Right.
So you made 5 or 6
Groom's
knives.
gift.
Yeah, he wanted to give all the men in the party. So
Right.
he'd seen my knives at the boat builder show in Portland, and he said, "I'd like to have enough made up for." I think it was 6. I think was all together, but that's what I did. I made 6 knives.
So that's an annual outing for you, going to the boat builder show?
That's the only show I do.
Yeah, yeah.
The boat builder show.
So that must handle. I mean, you must
How
get all
long does it take you to make a knife? If somebody asks you,
Well,
I need 6 knives, what do you need, 6 months?
No. For one knife, I can usually make one knife if I didn't have to wait for glue to dry, ovens to heat up. I could make a seamer's knife in a couple of days. But I don't make one at a night because to start the equipment up just for one knife, it's not, you lose a lot of energy.
Correct.
You make them in batches of 5 to 10.
Right.
Yeah, you got a forge out in the barn there, you
Yep, I
say?
have 2 forges
Two
out
forges,
there.
yeah.
And
A couple of anvils.
power hammer and a couple anvils, grinder.
And the metal is, you said it was what?
High
High carbon steel.
1095 is what
So
I
it'll rust, so you got to take care of it in the salt water.
That's right.
Now,
Yeah. Even the good stainless wheel will rust after a
Yeah,
while.
the bad
Mud got quite a nice write-up here in the Wooden Boat magazine, which is Educating Kid is up in Brooklyn. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility up there. And a friend of yours actually wrote the article.
Yep, I swim with
guy he
Paul
swims with over in
Lazarus.
the.
Yep, so he wrote this, and I mean, you must have got, this must have been well read. I mean, this is a very popular
That
magazine.
gets all over the world. That
Yeah, I know it does. So,
You said it put a little spike in your business too, didn't you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I took quite a few orders after that came out.
well, we're
Speaking
gonna,
of spikes, you also make marlin spikes. You
That's
said,
what I do. Yeah.
right?
to go along with the knives.
It goes along with the knives. Some
Yeah.
people want to splice cable and rope, and they can use marlin spikes for that, or opening shackles.
So these are, they're one of a kind, although some of them are similar, but every knife is a little different. But
They're
make
very
a,
close. They're very close.
Number-
I can tell the difference.
Right,
Average person.
right. So I'm pretty excited to go see these. So we're going to take a look at these knives and how they're made a little bit. And so anyway,
There you go.
There's a picture of the wooden boat place up in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Apparently they bought an old summer home and turned it into
No, it was a real
school.
mansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
Concrete,
place.
because the people was afraid of fire.
Well, that's a good reason.
Poured concrete. It looks like clapboards.
Wow,
Unbelievable.
wow.
'Cause I used to be a builder. I
Right,
built houses for
right.
40 years, and I appreciated the work that went into that place.
Okay, well let's go in and check out the.
Well, it was built in 1916 and it cost $250,000, so it's a pretty big place.
Yeah, it is huge, kid. You gotta go see it. All right, let's
Prices
go
then
see
were
the
bad as
knives.
they are
It's a
now.
short place, really.
Well, this is where it all happens. Mud, this is unbelievable. You've got every shape and size knife I can't even imagine.
You make it all in
So,
this railroad.
Anyway, grab a knife, Kit. Grab a knife, any knife,
His
any
pride and
knife.
joy. His pride and joy. huh?
No.
Is that this one?
That's
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, this is a knife that Mud made. How many years ago, Mud?
Oh, 94?
94. Okay, and this is all silver. He did all the scroll work,
Yeah,
correct?
engraving and-
Right. And what's that little pin for? In case you want
That's
to.
actually made to hold it in the sheath. They put
Oh yeah.
you have to put the end of the
Now the sheath, and what's this handle made out of?
That's made out of spalted maple.
Jesus. And then you got this is
Beautiful
It's all
sheath.
leather.
And it's made to look Norwegian.
That's it. It's a Norwegian.
Yeah, it looks like a Viking dagger.
and it's
Yeah.
made as a ceremonial It's a using knife, but it's usually just used in parades and in anniversaries.
How long did that one take, Mud?
That took over 3.5 months.
Wow.
I had to wear 7 hats.
Really?
I cast silver, I engraved silver, I fabricated silver, and then I engraved the leatherwork, and I laminated the blade, a 3-piece blade. And
you were telling us you entered this into a national contest.
yep, I had, and they didn't have a first prize, so I came in 3rd, but there was no first prize, so I figured that I had to be second because I came in 3rd. So,
I never heard of a contest with no first prize. That's un-American.
it was.
Well, people that deal with knives, they don't want to get anybody upset. See? So,
Okay. So they have no firsts. Oh, go there.
This is it.
Yeah.
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 In
Second.
'95, I was out in Decorah, Iowa. I had a lot of
Right.
Norwegians. The only ethnic museum that's Norwegian. And there is another ethnic museum, it's Armenian in Watertown.
really?
There's another rare
So
one.
you tried to one-up them by making a
Yeah.
Norwegian knife.
I
Yeah,
married a
that's all right.
Norwegian.
You did? No, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
'cause
Okay.
I've hung around with Norwegians for a long time.
So now when we came in here, these knives here were on the table, and these are in process, right, Bud?
Yep.
Right.
So
Watch out.
Work in
anyway,
progress.
you told me a little bit about the shape of the blade. What's that? Why do you make the blade that shape? You can show right here.
This is made to really be beat on, to cut rope mainly, that's what it's for.
Right.
It'll cut anything, pizzas or bologna, you name it, but actually it's to cut rope and canvas. On mostly sailing ships use this type of knives. Fishermen use it, tree workers use it, as long as there's a rope around to be cut. This can be hammered on. It's guaranteed against everything but floating. It won't float, and it will rust. And you can hammer on this all you want, and if you bent it, broke it, bring it back
Bring it
here,
back
and
and
I
they'll
can
put a
straighten
new
it out.
blade on
It all comes with the warranty.
So these are lifetime warranty?
Lifetime warranty. As long as I'm alive, it's
Can't do better than that.
That's the lifetime. Yeah.
and I do all the heat treating, and it's heat treated like a samurai sword. So
Yeah, right.
you can hammer on the back and you won't break this knife in two. And it's been tested that I cut steel with this knife.
You call the sides scales? did I
Yeah,
hear
they
you
call
say?
them scales.
Scales.
These are
Yeah.
these are walnut, black walnut, and cherry. And they're glued on and then riveted on with handmade rivets.
Beautiful. And then you finish it with oil?
Yes, Watco oil.
Watco oil,
Danish oil.
Now this is an interesting piece right here because it's got this is probably set up
Yeah.
for a right-hander.
Right-handed,
right?
that's it.
And what's that material there? That is.
That's a
Deer
horn.
antler. It's
Deer?
a white-tailed
Yeah.
deer.
Yeah.
But it's been dyed with, it's bring up the grain a little bit, the coloring of it, of the
Yeah,
shape of the
you were telling
horn.
us you've made handles out of just about everything you can think of.
You name it.
Yeah,
I
you
think I've done just about
You got
everything.
that picture there is which is a warthog or something?
Yeah, warthog.
Warthog,
Yeah, it
for
comes
him.
from.
Now, what's the one you made out of the? This was done. This was a lawnmower blade.
Yeah. No, not that one.
No, not that one. But we
That's
will.
what it was.
Okay, well we'll get to that one.
Yeah,
But look at
that's
that. Look at this thing.
competition knife.
Competition knife.
Yeah.
Now you told me you cut a golf ball in
In
two.
two with it,
Okay,
right.
so you could take this out, put the golf ball down, boom, right in half, right?
That's right.
Well,
So-
it looks like it's got a big hickey in the blade
Yeah,
there, though.
that's from hitting. That doesn't hurt it. I can. That was after the last contest. It was in when you hit a knot, and it would it twisted it, but it didn't take a metal out.
Right, Mud, you
Yeah.
gotta be more careful. You can't be damaging these knives.
No,
like
no, I let somebody young use it this time. I didn't enter myself
Right.
in this contest. But
Boy.
I did the golf ball, but in my I did the golf ball
Right.
contest.
Okay.
How often do you cut yourself?
Oh,
Shouldn't play with knives,
once every other day usually. Yeah.
Right.
See my curate.
Oh yeah, he's got.
well, you got
he's
the-
got.
got the first
now, do
aid
you
kit
take?
right there.
Do you think Curads are better Band-Aids than Johnson and Johnson?
There you go.
Whatever's there in the
So here's a perspective blade, right?
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
so you can put a handle on that.
Right.
And-
This guy's been waiting over 3 years.
If you move that up
Huh?
a little bit, you have a bottle opener.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Guy's been waiting 3 years for this knife.
Yeah.
Does he have his handle picked?
Real friend of yours, is he?
I'll tell you, he is a friend of mine.
Okay.
I'm an old hot rodder.
Yeah,
All right.
I could tell.
This guy
boy.
here is guy that's getting the knife.
Yep.
This is his car.
Wow, look at this
32
car,
Road.
Mike.
Isn't that a beauty?
Wow.
Yeah, Larry Hook. And he lives down in Rhode Island.
Oh, I was thinking maybe he used that on the speedway out here, but
And that's a
when it used to be.
supercharger on there.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Now this is another show. So anyway, so now we're gonna show. This is the creme de la creme. This baby right here. This.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of
No, Mud said this is his favorite knife.
No.
This thing is. Tell us. All right, Mud. We want to hear. We want to hear about this.
This is what they call primitive blowy style because it's not finished off. The hammer marks are still on there, and it's made to be really used. It's not a wall hanger. This is all solid copper, and on the very end of it, and this piece of wood is hanging around my bench for at least 6 or 7 years, and it's for a right-handed person, and it's made from a piece of grapevine. Old grapevine,
Right.
very dense wood.
There's a piece right there, kid.
Yeah, and this-
We just found out that grapevine is very hard. I mean, you can see it. It's almost.
Very,
very
hard,
tight
yeah.
grain there. Yeah. And so, what does a person do with that knife?
You can use this for hunting, but it's actually it's a show knife, and most people wouldn't carry a big knife like this out in the woods.
Right, as opposed to this knife, they could drop you off in Costa Rica from a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
And you could make your way through the brush.
That's right. That would do it.
Wow.
That's made from the bearing race from a big bulldozer. Where the ball bearing goes around.
Yeah.
That's made from that steel that goes around there.
So you don't really have a problem with material. I mean, you could go.
I recycle a lot.
That's fantastic. I love recycling
Yeah,
stuff.
this is all recycled.
You called this one your pièce de résistance, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's one of them. I like them all, and this is another style I brought and made up, and
This knife is so unbelievably sharp, you cut yourself just looking at it.
yeah, sharp. I'm a firm believer in sharp.
Now, has this been earmarked yet? This?
No, that one there, I made this for my brother, and he died like 15 years ago.
Oh,
and
too bad.
This is the blade that went with it. It's a Japanese style,
And this knife has a mud E for
Yeah.
your sister.
this is for my sister, in memory of my
Remember your
sister.
sister.
My early knives were a J from my brother when he died. He died first, and then my sister died about 5 years ago. And, so I put their names on them.
Okay, Bud, so just to give people a ballpark figure, I see these are the most common ones you're producing right now. What does a knife like this cost?
That one there is $155. That takes that has a hand-sewn sheath.
Lifetime warranty, right? The sheath comes with it, right?
Hand-sewn.
Makes his own, Mud makes his sheath,
What a
makes his
beauty.
own
The
sheath.
other way around.
Yeah, sorry. Makes his own sheaths, and all hand sewn, and lifetime warranty.
Guaranteed. Lifetime.
Slip your belt right through it, I guess.
Yeah.
Sharpen them.
Yeah.
I clean them up if they get a little rough. They get rough treatment most.
Is it now? Is this cowhide?
Yeah. I buy the whole side of a cow, and
And then,
I sew it all sew it right there.
wow, he's a fantastic.
Did you talk about those spikes? I can't remember if we did or not. I'm too
Yeah,
old.
no, we didn't talk about the spikes. These, what are
Well,
the? This is a rigging.
Special sheet for that,
Yep.
so you can carry the whole thing together.
Oh yeah.
Spike goes in that side, and the neck goes in there,
Okay,
and
right, very nice.
and these are used to splice wire.
Yep.
You can
Right.
use them for rope. You use them for opening up shackles.
Right.
Some guys use them for hammering things. And,
And you said
use
you
it
made
for
you
everything.
made a slightly larger wooden spike, which is what, a dum
Yeah,
or
they
something?
call it a fid.
Fid, that's
For
it.
a big
yeah.
rope, heavy rope. The blade is forged from a shock absorber shaft from Rolls-Royce shock absorber, and the handle is part ibex horn and white-tailed deer, and this is all forged mild steel guard that's been twisted for that shape.
The title of the knife.
Yeah, what you
The
call it?
title is Black Widow, and this is driftwood found in the Kennebec River,
Beautiful.
and it is blued blued high carbon steel blade.
I take it that's NFS, not for sale?
Not for sale.
Not for sale.
They're going to fight over that one too.
Well, at least you got more than one to fight over.
That's
good.
right.
How many
That's
children do you have to fight over them?
5.
Oh my God, get busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just come upstairs. This beautiful lady's name is Esther Sherrigan. This is Mud's wife.
Yeah.
And while Mud's downstairs creating these unbelievable knives, Esther's up here on her loom, right, Esther?
Right.
And I was
You're completely apart. You can't even talk to each other. You're just working on your own little thing.
it's a marriage made in heaven.
No, I think so. Yeah, you've been
anyway,
together a long time, I bet.
so anyway, this is a scarf. Well, I wanted to. What was the first time you saw a loom, Esther? And you said, "Wow, I'd like to do that."
Well, first time I saw a loom was in Oslo, Norway, when we lived there.
Right.
When I lived there.
Right.
And our neighbor had one, and those kind of houses there where you came in on the bottom to the bedrooms, went up to the living room, had this massive loom like this in their living room. And what is that? I didn't know what it was. And it didn't have anything on it. So then when I moved back here, Mud knew somebody that had a small loom, and in exchange for work from him, she would teach me how to weave.
Wow.
And that's those 4 that's hanging on the wall in the entry hallway there.
Yeah.
Those were the first samples that I had made.
Wow.
So then from there, the first loom that I really got was a gal in Cambridge, and that was a loom from Canada. And I really wanted to do rugs on it. But the loom was only half the length or the depth of this one. So every time I pull back, the loom came at me. So that wasn't very good. Well, I beat very hard. So then I found another loom and bought that, and then several other looms in between, like rug weaving looms with only 2 harnesses, because you can see here, this has got 6 harnesses on it. Yeah, and that was, you see, they're up or it's down. So I wanted to do a little bit more complicated patterns. So then we looked around. After we moved up here, there was a gal in Kittery that was selling this one. It was splitting up, so we bought the whole thing.
So right now you've got a piece of chenille. You've got chenille yarn on there now,
Right.
and you're working on a pattern, and you'll make a scarf.
Yes.
Is the pattern of your own design thought?
It's modified from Webb's in Northampton. That's where I get all this from.
Okay.
And then I modified it by putting in these different, this is like ribbon. I
can see that.
there. Ribbon to get this flash look to it.
Right.
Okay.
So then I got probably about, I guess, 12 yards of the black and the mixed color chenille on that side there. And I'll weave that whole thing with the same color. I won't change it at all. The only time that I can change something is if, like, I'm weaving with one solid color, and then you can mix others with it. Like if I did like a table runner and I had white, all white as my warp, then I can have different colors as my weft.
Right.
And I'll show you some samples in the living room later on.
Right.
What that
And I can tell you, I can vouch for somebody who's worn chenille scarves for many, many years. They are warm, comfortable, light. They wear well. You can wash them.
Yeah.
It's a great product. So, well, let's go ahead and do a little bit on there.
Looks like this scarf's going to be about 30 feet long.
No, it won't, because this is how long it's going to be. See, I got a ribbon attached at the beginning of it. And when I get to the end of this ribbon, I know that it's 60 inches.
Right, right.
So then I'll leave a space in between. I'll hand hem it on here, leave a space in between, start again with a little tail
and
left
make
out,
another scarf like it.
And then sew that ends in. Because
Okay.
I hem it while it's on the loom.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just keep on doing it until I get to the end. If I have this much left on the end and I've woven a 60-inch scarf, I'll continue weaving it to the end.
Right.
I don't like
so the
waste.
last one is a long scarf.
Well, yeah, it depends on how much it comes out, and I don't
Right,
like
okay.
waste, so it'll
sure.
be longer.
And then you take them to craft fairs.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Common Ground Fair as well.
Yeah, Common Ground is
she says
one,
she's
and United Maine Crafts.
You make me want to measure my scarf to see if I got a 5-footer or
Yeah, you probably got
You have a long one. I think
Probably
it's
got
about
robbed.
60 inches, yeah.
Okay,
So
let's check this out.
So why do you have numbers on your pedals there? Can't you remember?
No, because there's too many.
Okay.
And you see I'm weaving barefoot too because the
Right.
shoe won't fit. It'll
No, I can
push
see they're very close
two
together.
down at a time.
Right.
And I wear socks because
It's cold.
my toes get crunched up in there.
Mm-hmm.
So my socks prevent that from happening.
So your husband cuts himself all the time, and you scrunch your toes in the loom.
Yes, but I have socks on, so that doesn't bother me now. So I'm stepping on these different treadles. And
See that, Kit?
Yeah, shoots it through there pretty good, huh?
raising different harnesses.
It's totally baffling.
And then I go back to this number 4 again. So you kind of memorize it.
To me, it's very amazing that this big, huge thing does that.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a small.
The guy who invented these, you can imagine the originator who invented these, he must have been a genius.
Yeah.
But I like this loom because I can weave something narrow like this or something the full width. And because it is called a countermarch tie-up, which means that they get pulled apart, none of my harnesses will go crooked, as in a loom that only lifts up. Because see, these all pull apart. See those the lambs down there?
Right.
So this is called a countermarch tie-up. And it's a Swedish loom. It's held together with pegs. There's no screws. You can see them down there.
There's a bolt here.
Yeah, there's a bolt there, but there's pegs up there.
Right.
Well,
So.
I'll see you around the campus, Mud. These are unbelievable. I mean, talk about a custom,
And I enjoy doing it.
present.
Well, yeah.
That's the best part about it. He enjoys doing it.
Lucky.
So anyway, we'll see you until next week.
These are some of my models up there that I've copied.